This next chapter that we are going to start is all about area. The first section that we're going to look at is just area of a parallelogram. So if you remember, a parallelogram is a figure or a four-sided figure whose opposite sides are parallel. And then we also know the opposite sides are congruent and opposite angles are congruent. To find the area of a parallelogram, all we're going to do is multiply the base times the height. Now, it's important to understand what those pieces are. The base, okay, is one of the sides of the parallelogram. So we'll say that in this example, DC is the base, and then the height is the distance from one of our points up top straight down to the bottom. The base and the height always form a right angle. So those are the two pieces of information we need to find the area of a parallelogram. Okay, so let's take a look at a few examples. Here we are given those two pieces of information. Right? I'm given the base is 30 and the height is 18. So my area, which is just base times height, will be 30 times 18, and we can use our calculator. 30 times 18 gets me 540. So we are given units here, so we'll say the area is 540 meters squared. Remember, whenever we're talking about area, we're talking about square units. So the area of this would be 540 square meters. Right? In this next one, we are asked to find both the perimeter and the area. Okay, so let's start with the area. That's what we've been looking at. So area is base times height. So it's just important to identify the correct pieces of information here. Right? The base would be 20, and the height would be 8. Okay, the height is not 10. The height in this one is 8. So I'm going to do 20 times 8, and I believe that gets me 160. So 160 square inches. All right, and then in this one, we are also asked for the perimeter. Remember, perimeter is just all of the sides added together, or the distance all the way around a figure. So one key thing in a parallelogram is opposite sides are congruent. So if this side is 20, this side is 20. And if this side is 10, this side is 10. So my perimeter is just going to be 20 plus 10 plus 20 plus 10. So the perimeter is going to be 60 inches. Okay, so remember, area is in square units. Perimeter is just a distance, so that is in just inches here. All right, let's try a couple more. All right, now remember, squares and rectangles are also types of parallelograms. So this area equals base times height is the same for a square or a rectangle. So here, if I want the area, well, the base and the height are the same. So the area is going to be 1.6 times 1.6. So that gets me 2.56. And that'll be square centimeters. Then my perimeter will be all four sides added together. So that'll be 1.6 plus 1.6 4 times. So I could just do 1.6 times 4, and that'll get me 6.4 for my perimeter. So my perimeter is 6.4 centimeters. All right. So let's now take a look at one where we don't have all of the necessary information. Okay. So let's actually start with area on this one. For the area, we do have all the necessary information. Okay, area is base times height, and we have the entire length of the base, and we have the entire height. So the entire length of the base, they split it up here, is going to be 8 plus 10. So the entire length of the base will be 18. And then the height we are given is 16. So my area, 18 times 16, gets me 288. So my area is 288 square feet. But now, to find the perimeter, I don't know either of these sides. Okay, this one, if this is 18, then this side is going to be 18. But I don't know either of these. Well, what we are actually going to do is use something from previous chapter. If I look here, I have a right triangle. I know two sides of that right triangle. To find the third side, I can use Pythagorean theorem. Remember, Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Right? So, if I want to find this missing side here, I can label my triangle as A, B, and C. And remember, A and B are the two legs, meaning the two sides that make up the right angle. So I can say the 8 and the 16 are my A and B, and then C is my unknown side here. So my setup is going to be 8 squared plus 16 squared equals C squared. Go ahead and square both of these. So 8 squared is 64. 16 squared is 256. And then add those together. So we get that c squared is 320. So then to get c, I need to take the square root. So second that button, 320, gets me that my missing side is 17.888. Everything we've done is rounding to the nearest tenth. So this would be 17.9 rounded to the nearest tenth. So this missing side here is 17.9. That means this side over here is also 17.9. And then we can finally say the perimeter is equal to 18 plus 17.9 plus 18 plus 17.9. So 18 plus we get a perimeter of 71.8. And our units would be feet. So for all of these problems, we need those same two pieces of information to find the area. We need the base and the height. And then to find the perimeter, we need all four sides. Sometimes we may have to solve for a missing piece. Right? In this case, we needed to use the Pythagorean theorem to find a missing piece. Let's take a look at another example where we need to find a missing piece. Right? So on this one, we're actually given all of the sides. So I could go ahead and find the perimeter right off the bat. Right? If this side's 30, this side's 30. If this side's 15, this side's 15. So my perimeter is just going to be 30 plus 15 plus 30 plus 15, which would be 90. So my perimeter is 90 feet. Then my area, I need the height. I need to solve for the height. I don't know the height, but if I look at this right triangle here, what I do know is this side is 15, And then this 45-degree angle, well, this angle here would also be 45 because we know in a parallelogram opposite angles are congruent. Now I want to solve for the height. Now what we've created here is a trig problem. This is what we did in our right triangle section, our right triangle chapter. I can set up an equation using a trig function to solve for x. So the first thing we needed to do is label the sides of the triangle. So with respect to this 45-degree angle, this x is the opposite side, and the 15 would be the hypotenuse because it's opposite the right angle. So the trig function that deals with opposite and hypotenuse is sine, right? Remember so, ka, toa? So my setup here to solve for the height is going to be sine of the angle, sine of 45 equals opposite over hypotenuse. So to solve this then, I would multiply both sides by 15, and I would get 15 times the sine of 45 equals x. And I can put that into the calculator. And remember, make sure your calculator is in degree mode whenever we're doing anything with trig. So 15 times the sine of 45 gets me 10.6. So the height of this parallelogram is 10.6. Okay, so I'm going to erase this label here and just type in 10.6. So now I can easily find my area. My area is going to be the base, which is 30, times the height of 10.6. So we can put that into the calculator, 30 times 10.6, and that'll get me 318. So 318 square feet. All right. Let's do one more example like this, where we need to use trig to find a missing piece of information. Right. On this one, we're just right off the bat told that all four sides are the same. Okay, these markings, remember, tell me that sides are the same. So right off the bat, I know everything is 24 inches. So we can easily find the perimeter. Perimeter would just be 24 plus 24 plus 24 plus 24. So the perimeter will be 96. So 96 inches. Then the area, to find the area, we need the height. We don't know the height, okay? But just like in the last problem, we can look at this right triangle here to find the height. So if this angle is 60, this angle is 60, and then I know that the hypotenuse is 24. So we can label with respect to this angle. Right? This would be the opposite side, and I already said this would be the hypotenuse. So just like in the last problem, we are going to use sine because sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So my setup will be sine of 60 equals x over 24. Multiply both sides by 24. And we can put this into the calculator. 24 times the sine of 60. We get 20.8 if we round to the nearest tenth. So the height of this parallelogram is 20.8. So I'm going to erase that and put in 20.8. So now we have the information that we need. the area of the entire parallelogram is going to be the base of 24 times the height of 20.8. So 24 times 20.8 is 499.2. And my units would be square inches. Okay, so that's it for this video. Remember, the assignment is to upload a picture of your notes to Schoology, and then for tomorrow there is an edge elastic with some practice problems dealing with this stuff. And as always, please send me any questions that you have.